Hello, welcome back. This is James Herrera from UX Shape. Today we're gonna look at we're gonna continue our third series from the sign up and login screen. We were working on the um, you know the sign up page, login and sign up. So let's just go to Azure now and let's look at what we've been working on. We've gone through the splash screen in our first series, and we've done the onboarding in second series, and also we've done the login and sign up, but we're just refining this section so that we can actually create a meaningful prototype for our e-commerce mobile application. So let's just review what we've done. This is the splash screen, and this is the onboarding screen, and this is the login and sign up screen. So what we have here is we have the login screen itself, whereby users we have to enter their username and their password. So what we need to do now is, previously what we did was we added some event here, which means if the user click on this login, they just go straight to the home screen. But what we want to do, we want to make it formal so that we have to enter their username and their password, and if the details match and they press login, then they will be directed to this home screen. So what we need to do, we need to create a kind of a validation check so that we can check whether those username exist, and we're going to be using a conditional structure for that. So let's go to our text. We have to click on the text box itself. Now, before we have to do this, we need to name all our text boxes that we're going to use for this validation check. So we've named this one as username txt, as you can see here at the corner here under widget interaction and notes, and we have the password, which is the password txt here as well. So that is what we need, and we're going to put the event under this button. So we just have to, let's delete this one that we have, which is home screen. Let's delete everything and let's click on click event. So what we need to do, we need to click add condition. Now we're adding condition because we want to check whether that username is present or not. So we're going to say text on widget. That's what we're going to select, which means any text that is on this widget, we need to check that, and we need to check, okay, which widget are we checking? Is it the username txt? And we need to check whether it's equal to, does not equal to, is less than, so we're going to use equal because we are looking for the exact match. We're not looking for, if it's greater than or contains. We're just looking for the exact match. So if the username is exactly the same thing, then we're going to have to display the home screen. And then we'd say here the variables that we want to use. So we say values, and then we say, all right, let's assume that this is the username. We say James Oriel at gmail.com. That is for the first one, for the username. So before we we need to check for the password, and we click on this plus sign, and then we have the same information here. So we're just gonna say the same thing, text on widget, select password equal to value, and I'll just put 1 2 3 4 5 6 so that we don't have too many password field. So that is what we have, and you see Axure has given us this description of what we've written here, and say if text on username equals james@gmail.com and text on password equals this, then what do we want to show? So we have this condition, and the next thing is we say if that match, show this. We are showing the home screen. Else, we need to now create an else condition, which means we need to click OK, and then we need to create the case 2. So the case 2 will mean that if this condition does not match, what do we need to show? So we need to display something, and I'll come back to that, but we need to cancel this first. What do we need to show? We need to display an error message. And how do we display this error message to the user? Are we going to make use of a pop-up modal box, or are we going to have to create a kind of a error message that is very user friendly? So what we can do, we can make use of this. Let's get our rectangle box, and we would just say, okay, sometimes let's look at the length of this. This is 304. I'm just gonna make this red. The reason why I'm making this red is because we want to check whether it's color, although I've said we're not going to make use of color, but for this purpose we're going to make use of red. I might have to tone it down a little bit, so let's just make it like this so that we know we don't have to show too much red. All right, so let's remove the border so that we have it nice and clear, and let's reduce the height to 8. All right, so we have this information. So what we need to do, we need to convert this to dynamic panel, and we will say change this dynamic panel to error login. All right, so that once we display that, once the user name and password, or the password, is not correct, then we're just gonna say, okay, error login. So we put this here and say here. So what we need to do, let us hide this for now, and yeah, let's hide this for now. So we can we can duplicate this and place another one here under the username, and let's change this for error username login, and let's change this to error password login, because what we want to do, we want to check if if there's a mistake either in the username or the password. We want to display something. So let's go back to our button. We've set up this dynamic panel and we've hidden it, so when the page loads, the user is not going to see this error. But once they try to log in and the information is not correct, we're going to see an error message. So let's go back here and say login, and let's go to the case 2. No, to get the case 2, we have to click the on-click event so that we have the else part of the condition. So we need to have, if this is correct, open this. If not, what we need to do, we need to show this. We need to show if we have that information, we need to show something, and then we need to bring that to front. It's always a good practice. And then we say, what do we need to show? We need to show the okay, I think we did a little bit of mistake here, so let's just cancel this for now. Let's go back to this case 1. Let's edit the condition first, and let's remove this. We're saying if that is that, remove this. So we say okay, and then let's press okay, and then let's click on case 2, and let's put that and say show bring and open. So we're saying we show the widget, we bring it to front, and then we open the link. We're going to open this link, and then we're going to bring this widget to front, which is the error username, and then we're going to show the error username. We're not going to apply animation. We might want to apply animation. Let's see, let's say slide right, and then we don't need to make it a light box. We can just leave it like that. So let's click OK. Let's test this out and let's see how it looks like. Let's preview it. As usual, I'm going to copy this away from Internet Explorer, and I'm going to paste it in Chrome. So let's try and enter. Let's try and press enter. Okay, we made a mistake. What we need to do, we don't need to show this home screen here. We just need to display that error message. So let's go back again and try it out. If we try to press login without putting the username and the password, we have this error message which is displayed and which shows error message, and we can actually have a text showing maybe at the side here and say, oh, there is an error message, username and password not found. So we can use a text here and say username incorrect. So we might have to change this to very small text, Marvin Pro again, and we say maybe 12 or 10, and we might have to make this a little bit, yep, and make this. So we might put this here, and we might have to change this to red. What we might need to do, we might need to make this eating as well, but we need to give this name a shape. So we say let's unhide it again. So we say username incorrect text. We say label LBL. Yeah. So we're just gonna hide it, and let's go to our login and let's save. We're gonna show another thing again, which is show the username label, and then we're gonna bring it to front. It's always a good practice to bring it to front, even if it's already on the in the front of the prototype already. So we say okay. So let's try this again. Let's refresh the page. Let's try to log in, and we see this information show. What we could do, we could delay this a bit so that immediately this loads, then we have this information here. So let's delay it a bit. We might have to go here and let's go back to the condition. So we have the show username, slide right, and we have bring to front username. So what we need to do, we might need to wait a little bit. We delay it and say wait for 1000 milliseconds before you show the label and before you bring it to front. So we say okay. Let's refresh this again, and let's try to log in without our username. Oh, even if we try to enter the password, which is 123456, and we try to press OK, it's still gonna be the same thing. If we try to put 123456 and we press, it's still gonna be because username is not correct or username is not found. So depending on what you have, if it's an empty field, you can always change the condition, but we're not really going to go into details of checking whether it's empty or it's not empty, whether both is empty. So but the idea is to make that conditional statement, you have to you have to make sure that you go into actual, and you have to go into the condition part as well. So what we need to do now is we have done for the username. We need to do for the we need to do for the password. So let's say hard condition. We say here we say text on widget if password equals tst 1 2 3 4 5 6 and press OK. Then we say open home screen. And we press OK. I'm just checking the logic of this. We say here that if the username and the password is not correct, we have to show this, which is this okay, we're checking for the password. So let's check now again if this is not correct. I've not actually done it this way before. This is a complicated way to do it. I'll show you the simpler way to do it to make it very easy and simple. But let's go here and put the else. We say show bring wait show and then bring. So what do we want to show first? We want to show the password error, and we want to slide right, and we want to show I want to bring the password error to front. We want to wait, and we want to show the username. But for now we're just gonna, because we need to change it to the password, but we've not created the password on, so we need to duplicate this one and put it somewhere here and change it to password. Press enter, and we just go into here and say password incorrect. We hide it back again. Let us refresh this and test. Alright, so this is showing this. It's not showing either, it's not showing both. So what we need to do, we need to make sure that we have both of them showing, which is the case one. This and this. Actually, there is a simpler way to do it. Let's just get rid of all this. Let's get rid of all this case. It might be too complicated for you to understand. Let us go back and start from the beginning. We add the condition. We just need to use 2 to make it simpler for ourselves. Let's say the username and yeah, password equals James O'Reilly 1 at gmail.com. Then password 1 2 3 4 5 6. We press OK, and if that is correct, just show us the home screen. If not, show bring to front, wait, show bring to front, and yeah. So let's show something first. We're going to say error username, slide right, error username, wait, then show error. We're not gonna wait for this. We're just gonna say error password, slide right, error password, show that. And then what we need to do, we need to click OK here. Let's try this and let's see. We'll say, let's refresh it. Let's assume we didn't press anything and just press enter. It's showing this. So the red lighting is showing, but we need to show the text. So what we need to do, we need to go back here into the else if, and we need to show below here. We need to show, and we need to show. So we need to show the text, the username label, and then we need to show the password label. Press OK. Let's just check whether this is the correct one that we have. We have password incorrect. Okay. And then we have a username incorrect. All right. So let's refresh our page. Let's press OK without entering anything. And we say this. So we might want to hide this, to open the password as well. So probably we might just need to take this and hide this. We're going to have a condition to show the visibility thing, so that once the user is typing into this box, then the visible thing is going to pop out and we'll be able to see whether we can review our password or not. So let's refresh the page. We can't see the right thing anymore. Let's ignore. We see incorrect password. So the user know that, oh, incorrect username and password, or password name is empty, something like that. So what you might need to do, you need to work on the conditional structure on how you want to display any type of error. But regardless of the error that you're going to display, the only thing that will change is the message here, which is the incorrect password. That is going to change. We can make it to show whether password is missing or something like that, but you don't really want to complicate your prototype, because a developer will definitely understand what the message you're trying to convey here. So the idea is to have this login screen here, and then once we've done this, we will now be able to go through. If we click login and we didn't enter the username, we can never enter the home screen anymore, because we have to provide a username and password. And if we refresh the page and we say jamesuriel@gmail.com, and then we go to password 1 2 3 4 5 6, and we press login, we see we are on the home screen. So even if we close the browser, for example, and we close the sitemap thing, and then we go through here, we use the app, we log in. Let's try to log in. Oh, incorrect password. Then we can see that there is an error here. So what we need to do next, we need to look for the forgot password, how we can make this forgot password interaction as well, so that when user click forgot password, they can come here, they can retrieve their password, enter their email address, they can retrieve their password, and we can do that interaction. So let's go to that page. We've done this bit. We just need to go through the conditional statement again. Like I said, let's go to edit. You select the text on widget. You select the widget you want to put. That means you have to name it, the username and the password, and you have to put the figures here equals the username value and equals the password value. You press OK, and the page you want it to show if the condition is is correct. So you put it. If it's not correct, then you want to show these things that we've done here. It can work without having to bring the text, bring the password to front or something like that, but I just like to put it so that you know definitely that it's gonna be on the front side and the user is gonna see it. So another thing we could add to this, we could make this have another interaction so that when the password is correct, we could show something to show that, oh, please wait, your account is loading. So we can have this, and let's make this a little bit, let's add some kind of fancy interaction here so that we can. So remember, when you are prototyping, you're showing a concept of what your app is going to look like. So we have this radius here, and let's save this. Okay, let's assume the user has logged in and then we want to prepare their account. So we can have maybe an icon here, an image here or something, and we can duplicate this, and we can put a text here. So to engage your user, we can basically create anything we want to create within this loading page here. We can make this 14 and say, please wait while we set up your shop area. So we are trying to, show the user that we're preparing their shop area for them, because we might have had some personalization due to the settings that they might have. So we're trying to make sure that is there. Now let's make this. Let's make this 12, and we have this. Let's duplicate this and say logging you into logging in, or let's say please wait, and then we just have little dot here. We can change it to 14. And we could reduce this one a little bit. We can make this. Alright, and then let's highlight both, distribute vertically, align center, group, and let's just make sure this is a bit not too. All right, let's align middle and align center, and then we group. So what we could do potentially, we could highlight everything, convert to dynamic panel, and then say login loading. So what we might put an icon here to show, there's a login in and there's a connection that is going through to the server or the database or something. Just a fancy way of making the user excited that, oh, you are connecting them. But this is going to be a little bit very fast. So we have this loading login dynamic panel. We need to hide this. Once we've hide it, we can just put it somewhere here. And we have this. So now actually let's just make sure, yeah, we have this in the middle. We can send it back and we can just bring it a little bit forward. So we have this login, and then let's go to the first one, which says if everything is correct, open this. But what we want to do is we don't want to open the login, the home screen immediately. What we want to do, we want to open this login for a little while. So we say show bring to front, and then we're gonna wait for maybe 1000 milliseconds, and then we show the home screen. So what we need to do, we need to move this down, we need to move this down, and we need to move this down. So we have this show. What are we showing? The login loading. We are bringing the login loading as well, and we're gonna wait for 1000 milliseconds, and we're going to open it. So let's click OK and save. So let's try and log in now. Let's try and log in with our email. We say jimsoriel@gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6. We press OK. It shows that, but we need to make sure that it's a light box so that we don't get confused. So what we need to do is say show this, and then we change this to light box, and we press OK. So if we go back again, and let's go back to where we are, let's put username Gmail and 1 2 3 4 5 6, and let's press login securely. We say this and we show this for a little while, so we can have that kind of interaction, or we can just make a normal simple interaction that comes with the Android Studio or whatever you want to do with it. So that's a way you can make sure that page works as well again. So what we need to do now, we need to go through the retrieve password, and let's put some interaction here, because the user want to retrieve their password, and we are trying to make sure that the password is retrievable. So same thing, let's go to login. Let's copy this login loading that we have, and let's paste it in this forgot password, send to back, and bring to front one. So what we need to do, we need to enter here and say username txt as well again. And what do we need to do? We need to go to we need to click on the button first, and say we have to check if the username is present. So as we did before, let's go to login and let's get what we used for the username. We're just going to copy these two things, copy it, and we'll paste it here. But we need to change this and say and leave it as username incorrect, and it's still going to show the red thing as well. So we can move this a little bit up, and we can move this up a bit, so we have that. All right, so let's go to our on-click event, and we say add condition, text on widget. We say username, and we say jamesoriel@gmail.com, and we press OK, because we're trying to check whether the username exists already. If not, then what do we want to show? We want to show bring to front wait, and then show, and so we want to show the error username, and we want to bring the error username to front. We want to wait for 1000 milliseconds, and then we want to show the username incorrect label. I want to slide this right as well. So we click OK, and we click save. Once we have the incorrect password, then it's going to show the. But what we want to do is, if the password is correct, everything is okay, we want to show it in the case one. We want to show bring to front and wait, and then we want to show something, and then bring Now we might just have to remove this and put it and say show. We want to show the login loading, but we're going to change the name later. We say treat as lightbox, bring login loading show, and then we want to let's click OK, because if we are retrieving a password, we need to display it to the user that the password is found, and then they can check their email address for the details. So what we want to show here, we want to change it to recover password loading. And what we need to do, we want to create another set of another message which will show that password is found, please check your email for details. And then we want to just make sure it's the same width. All right, so we want to type in here password matched. Let's say password found. Please check your email, which will be the jamesorio@gmail.com, to change your password. So what we're saying is that the password has been found. The user can check their email address, and then they can change the password. So we just want to make sure that this all, we can just we need to remove the border, make the Marvin Pro, change the corner radius to 2, and we need to make sure that, let's say password found, let's make this, and we can save this, and we can hide this as well, and just put this somewhere here too, and we can send this to back, and we can press front if you want. So we need to go to the retrieve password button, and we need to, let's change this button name to retrieve password btn. So let's go back to the button, and let's go back to our condition. So we say if the username is found, show this while the thing is loading, then recover password, and then we need to wait for something, and we need to show this as well, and then bring to front before we show the open the login screen. So what we're trying to do here, we're trying to show to the user, all right, once you enter your username and password and the username match, what we need to do is we need to show this recover password loading lightbox. We need to bring it to front. We need to wait for 1000 milliseconds. This place is trying to search for the password, and here is going to wait for some minutes, and we will show the retrieve. We will show the where's the name thing that we have here the other time? Yeah, we will show, let's give it a name. We will show success. Let's say password found. All right, so let's go back to the button again, and let's come here for the wait. Let's show, bring to front, open. We need to open the login screen. We need to show the password found. We need to bring the password found to front, and we need to click OK. So we're trying to log in, and we say, I type in, let's say, Mike at yahoo.com, and I type password, which is correct, and I say okay. It said incorrect username, incorrect password, incorrect as well, because the user does not exist anyway. Then we click login. We can log in. All right, so let's try and retrieve our password. So we say jamesorel at gmail.com. We press our password. It's waiting for some time. That was a bit too fast, so we might have to delay it a bit. So instead of saying 1000 minutes, we can make it, let's say, 2500. So that just for the sake of of demonstration, if we press this, it's not going to show it, just say incorrect username. Let's try and put the correct details. We say this, and there's please wait, and then it shows this for some time. We might have to delay that as well again, which says the bring to front. We might have to wait here as well and say wait for, let's say, another 2000, just because we want to see it work properly. We say okay, and before we do that, we might have to treat that as a light box as well. So we say show this, and we say treat as light box. So we say okay. Let's forgot password. Let's type our username, jamesorel@gmail.com. Please wait, password found, and then log in. So what we just need to do is we are redirecting the user back to the login. So when they try to open their email address, then they can check the password link that we sent to their email, and they will be able to use that as retrieve. What we might need to do, because once we show this password found, we need to probably send this recover password loading back as well. So we say show this, bring this to front. So we need to wait, and then we need to hide this password, recover password loading. We need to hide it, and we need to send it to back. We need to send this password recovery to back, so that we just have only one thing showing at the same time. We don't want to have too many pop-up modal box showing at the same time. So jamesorel@gmail.com, and we have okay, please wait, password found. You can see that the thing has been sent back. So we can just adjust it one more time to make sure that the password recovery makes sense, instead of showing please wait while we set up your account. So we say please wait while we check your details. So you're just checking whether the details match, and we can just have some kind of animation going on here. So we might have something like an arrow going on between each of them. So we might say, let's try and find this information. So let's see. You can even make it look like flying to the space to get your information. So we might have to or let's just use arrow here. There's one arrow I'm looking for, which is, let's say exchange. We are trying to get this information back from these people. You're sending information to the database, and then you're trying to retrieve that information back and send to the system. so that the user can see the result. So let's refresh. Forgot password, jamesoriel@gmail.com. Retrieve password, and we have this. So we can actually now log in with our username, which is correct. Once we've opened our email and say jamesoriel gmail 12345 press OK. Please wait while we load, and we have our home screen. So that is pretty very good. We've made sure that we have our interaction here, which checks for username and password. We've already linked this to the forgot password screen, and in the password screen we've checked as well if the username is found. If it's not found, then an error message is displayed. And with that, we can actually make this prototype look real, so that when we test with the user or with our stakeholders and we try to show this to a developer, the developer understands the message we're trying to communicate, how we want our interaction to look like, how we want error message to be displayed to the user. So it's even much easier for the developer to develop this application very quickly, because they understand it just like that immediately, and they would not have to waste too much time on thinking of, oh, how am I going to display an error message and things like that. And part of the job you do as a UX designer, and when you are doing wireframing or prototyping, is to communicate this message clearly using this tool. I hope you've been able to enjoy this tutorial, and if you have any question at all, because I'm sure this is very complicated with the conditional thing that you have to do. If you have any question on that, send me a message or drop a comment. I'll be glad to explain how it is done. And at the end of this series, because we still have a lot of series coming, at the end of this series you're going to have a full file of this prototype. So what we're going to do next time that we meet is we're going to create an home screen. We've tried to work from the splash screen, which goes through the onboarding, which goes through the login and sign up, which goes through the login page, forgot password, sign up with username and email address. Yeah, what we need to do is we just need to create one last interaction here to show that account has been created successfully, or or account has not been created successfully. But the same principle apply that we've used within the login and the recover password. So I will give that as an homework. If you can create an account, show something that account has been created, or show something that password and confirm password does not match. So that will be an assignment for anyone who wants to have a go at it. So we're just going to leave this and continue with the next tutorial. If I have the time, I can probably have to come back to this section and create this tutorial for this. But for now, what we're going to work on, we're going to work on the home screen. The home screen of our e-commerce app. This is where the user will now have to be able to buy product, see what we are selling, add product to shopping cart, view product categories, all this information that we will be able to do in our next tutorial. As usual, thank you for watching. This is James Oriel from UX Shape. If you have any comment, don't forget to leave it, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be glad to see you in our next tutorial. Thank you very much for watching.